All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it's been a pretty foggy winter so far. I think we went like 20 days with no sun, but today the sun finally came out. It's still pretty chilly outside, that's why I have a sweater on, but the sun came out and so the weather looks kind of nice, and so I figured why not bring out the S197 and give you guys a proper walk around of the car. Now if you guys are regular viewers of the channel, I actually made a very similar video to this one about 6 months ago on my last Mustang, but of course since then things have changed, and so this is my current daily driver. So let's go ahead and get started on the entire rundown on my 2006 Ford Mustang V6 Premium 4.0. So we'll go ahead and start with the exterior of the vehicle. One of my favorite things about this car is the color. This is a OEM Ford color called Vista Blue. Now the paint itself is not at all perfect. As you can see, there's little imperfections right here, and then especially on top on the roof of the vehicle. Let me walk around to the other side to show you guys. So this whole area right here is pretty much what took the worst of the sun damage. So I've actually been thinking about wrapping my entire roof in either vinyl black or in carbon fiber. Of course, all the V6 Premiums come with a different front grille with two little fog lights right there and right there, whereas the V6 base models have a front grille that has pretty much nothing. It's just a black front grille. The front headlights are actually new as well. I had to order those new because the ones that the car came with were all cracked and yellow. Now to make the front end of this car look a little bit better, what I had to do was install that eBay front lip right there. The front lip itself was like $100 on eBay, which if you ask me is a little bit expensive for literally one piece of black plastic. But overall, I do not regret the purchase because this chin spoiler really helps the car look a whole lot better in my opinion, and I kind of think of it as kind of like a neck beard for the OEM front bumper. Now since this car is a V6 Premium, it actually came on some OEM 17-inch Ford Mustang bullets, and for any of those that are wondering about the tire specs, I'll show you that right now. In the front, I'm running 235/60 R17s, and then in the rears I have a little bit of a bigger tire, which is a 235/65 R17. And then I have like this little $30 diffuser that I got off of Amazon. It was not designed specifically for this car, but I think it actually came out pretty well, and I like the way it makes the V6 rear bumper look. So that's pretty much the whole exterior of my vehicle. As you can see, I really haven't done too much to it. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that I have like a very small spacer right there. So I actually am running like a very thin half-inch spacer on all four corners. They're just those generic slide-on spacers that you can get from like O'Reilly's or AutoZone. And believe it or not, I think they actually did help the car look a little bit better fitment wise. I think the rims and tires fit absolutely perfect. They don't stick out too much, they don't stick in too much. I'll give you guys a quick view of the rear. As you can see right there, pretty much perfect. Not too in, not too out. The only problem I would like to fix next is this gap right here. And so one of the next modifications I would like to do to this car is definitely some lowering springs. The only reason I've been a little scared to put lowering springs on this car is because it rides really good the way it is right now. And so I'm afraid that if I put aftermarket springs on it, I feel like I might worsen the ride quality of the entire vehicle, which I really don't want to do because honestly, this is the best riding vehicle I've ever had in terms of how the suspension feels. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole exterior of my car right there. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. Again, I haven't really done much to it, but at the same time, I feel like this S197 body style doesn't really need much modification for it to look good. But I do have to be honest, the GT front bumpers and GT rear bumpers definitely look better than mine do. So now let's go ahead and jump inside the car and I'll show you guys what we have going on with the interior. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all V6 Premiums come with a all black leather interior. I really love this interior because all the base models have this ugly tan interior that I absolutely hate. And one of the main things I liked about this car when I went to go see it was the fact that the interior was absolutely immaculate. I mean, you guys can see it. There's no tears or rips in the driver's seat, no tears in the passenger seat, no missing pieces. The whole inside is complete and beautiful. And then here we have my Bluetooth transmitter and this Pioneer stereo that the car came with. A lot of people online actually sell like aftermarket touchscreen radios that go right here in this square. But honestly, this Pioneer stereo that the car came with sounds really good. Plus, I do like having the little cubby right here, so I'm probably just going to leave it like that and continue to use my Bluetooth transmitter. And honestly, that's pretty much it for the interior. There's not really a whole lot going on. I try to keep it clean as best I can. And then like the last little modification, I guess, for the inside would be my dash cam right here. And then the other rear dash cam is that little thing right there. That was a sponsored product, so shout out to Mango. What's funny too, and I don't think I've ever told this story, but this car was really a spontaneous purchase. I've never really cared for this model year of the Mustang right here, but this car just randomly popped up one day on Marketplace, and I wasn't even really looking to buy another car, but the deal was too good to pass up. I went to go see the car in person. I was able to negotiate a pretty good deal for this car, and I brought it home. Overall, the car looked pretty solid to me, aside from the fact that it had a blown motor, like I said. But other than that, it was a clean title, didn't have any damage whatsoever. Paint was a little faded, but that didn't bother me. And honestly, I can confidently say this is my most favorite car that I've owned to date. And for those that are wondering, I think the guy was asking $2,000 for the entire car. I offered him $1,200. He took it, and the deal was done. And so lastly, I'll show you guys what we have going on under the hood. And so here, guys, we have a very unimpressive bone stock 4.0 V6. Honestly, it doesn't really make sense to modify this engine right here, in my opinion, because it's never going to be fast. It's always going to be a V6, and it's always going to be inferior to the V8s. Now, the gas mileage is not super amazing with this car. It's not a Corolla or an Accord, but honestly, it's really not too bad. I'd say I fill up the tank maybe once a week, maybe sometimes every 2 weeks if I don't really drive all that much. And right now here in California, it costs me $75 to fill up the full tank with 91. But also you got to take into account the fact that I am still paying $5 a gallon for a 91 here in California. Donald Trump, please help us. I know some other states are paying like $2 or $3 per gallon now, so thank you, Gavin Newsom. But back to the engine bay of my car, I have literally not done anything to it. If I really wanted to, I could do headers, maybe like a cold air intake. But if we're being honest, like how much faster is that really gonna make the car, you know? So honestly, I think I'm just gonna leave the engine this way. I changed out the filter a while ago. It has a pretty new alternator. I don't know about the V8s, but on these V6s, the plastic thermostat housing that's kind of sandwiched in there tends to be something that breaks quite often. And so you definitely don't want that cracking on you and spewing your coolant all over the place, and then before you know it, you overheated your whole engine. Which I actually think is pretty much what happened to the last guy who owned this car. Because before I installed this motor, I actually had to pressure wash the whole engine bay because there was a bunch of coolant residue everywhere. And so now I'll give you guys like a little exhaust clip of the vehicle. Keep in mind, it's not going to sound amazing. It's just a V6 with the stock muffler. But I actually would like to put an aftermarket catback exhaust on this car. As you guys can see right now, there's only one tip right there for the stock muffler. And it absolutely bothers me that there's only one exhaust tip on one side. So I'm probably going to get a catback exhaust that converts it to like a dual exit right there with one exhaust tip on the left side and then the other one on this side. Anyways, let me give you guys a little exhaust clip. So guys, that's pretty much the entire walk around of my 2006 Mustang Premium. I feel like this car is old enough to the point where pretty much anybody can afford one, but at the same time it doesn't feel too old, you know what I mean? Like the inside is still very nice. It still feels pretty modern. Now if you're going to buy an S197 Mustang, you can also pick from the newer versions of this car. I'm talking maybe like a 2012 or like a 2014, which is still an S197, but it's pretty much like a facelifted S197 with a different front grille and different taillights. Those cars actually look really good too. I've actually been thinking about selling this one right here and getting like a 2014 5.0, but I don't know, we'll see. That's just an idea for now. I actually don't want to get rid of this car right here because I've been enjoying it a whole lot. Anyways, thank you guys for watching another video here on the channel. Happy holidays to all the people watching this video. I know Christmas is coming up, and then after that it's pretty much New Year. And so again, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next video.